Homegrown.
Locally owned.
101.9 KINK Portland.
KINK.
And now, 101.9 KINK keeps Portland weird with Dr. Demento, live from the Bing Lounge.
Yes, Steve Pringle live with you in the Bing Lounge, and we've got a living legend with us today, and it is definitely my honor to please welcome with you into the Bing Lounge. It is Dr. Demento. Hold on. No microphone. Come on, y'all. Keep it going.
Woo, wind up your radio. Yeah.
Look at this. It's fantastic. Welcome back to Portland, my man.
Right. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you into the lounge. Now you can
yes.
talk. You've done it all now.
Yes.
Is there anything on your list of dementia that you have not even begun to think that you want to try?
Oh, national TV.
You want to do national? Why haven't you? American Idol. I see him as a judge on American Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why haven't you done something like that?
They haven't asked.
You're kidding me. All right. We'll get the right people on
okay.
that.
Yes.
So welcome back to Portland. It's got a nice little place in your heart. You go back to Reed College quite a few years ago.
Yes, I graduated from Reed College in the 60s. My main extracurricular activity was the radio station. 10 watts of power blanketing half of Eastmoreland. Yes, but I became the student manager of the station and cut my radio teeth there, learned how to cue up records,
right.
And learned how to not make a total fool of blubbering fool. We were mostly classical in those days, and
right.
we had it was my job. Part of my job to train people how to pronounce names like Beethoven and Mozart or Bach.
Right. Was that just something that came up, was the radio? Because you went on to have like some sort of a musical degree.
Yes.
Did this just fall back and all of it? Because usually folks with degrees don't get into radio.
Right. Well, I went to Reed because...
Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is.
I did not come to Reed specifically for the radio station. I wanted to go to a good college, and I chose this one after hearing presentations from many of the Ivy League schools. I went to a high school that was kind of for brainiacs back in Minneapolis, so these people would all come and recruit. And I liked the Reed guy best, so what he had to say. We didn't have to wear coat and tie to dinner like they did at Harvard and Yale. So.
Right. That's funny. So what did you first sign up to Reed to go to or use the school for?
Well,
what was your courses?
Well, everybody at Reed takes humanities their freshman year, and that's kind of the anchor of the program. And I took music from the very beginning and became a music major, classical music. Right. Wrote a thesis on some early 20th century operas. Studies in post-Wagnerian opera. You can still find it in the thesis tower in the Reed Library. But I learned a lot there and really enjoyed it. I enjoyed many aspects of Reed, but it was the radio station that certainly had the most influence on my life.
Right.
And about back in the 70s, I started coming back to Reed. They have this independent study program called Paideia that they run in between the two semesters. And the students pick the offerings themselves. One might say that the inmates take over the asylum, but in any case, the students get to pick who they want to have come and talk to them on subjects ranging from the ridiculous to the sublime. Yeah. They go all the way from underwater basket weaving to, that's on Sunday, I think. To some fairly serious things, right. But they usually have me, and I will come and play different programs this weekend, starting tonight. I'm doing 3 programs. The one tonight is called Grandpa's Pornograph, and what that is records that were made for the titillation of the public, mostly from 1890 to the 1960s. And some of them were softcore, some of them were rather hardcore. All of them were sold kind of under the counter. But it was a flourishing part of the music business that has really been forgotten. So it'll be what your grandpa, maybe your great-grandpa for that matter, used to enjoy. The records that they would keep. My uncle had some of these records. Yeah. He would keep them on a high closet shelf so the kids couldn't get at them and bring them out only after the party was sufficiently lubricated. So we'll hear a couple of those.
Staff some vinyl under the sock drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be playing one of the softer core ones a little bit later this afternoon. Then on Saturday, I'm doing blues from the beginning. Before I became Dr. Demento, before my career took a left turn, before they came to take me away to the funny farm, so to speak, I was a blues nut. That was my main musical squeeze in the 1960s. And I went to Los Angeles, and I worked for a nightclub called the Ash Grove, where they brought in many of the great blues artists of that time, such as Lightnin' Hopkins. And I was the light man and the usher, and I would often be the MC. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ash Grove proudly presents Brownie Terry and Sonny McGee. I actually did that once.
Some names you got to see some names, definitely.
You know, I got anybody who knows blues knows that there's something fishy there. I got their two names transposed. It's Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry. Yes.
That's all right. That happens sometimes too.
Sure.
You got to see some of your
and Lightnin' Hopkins, Sleepy John Estes, Howlin' Wolf played there, John Lee Hooker, just Muddy Waters played at a slightly fancier club up the street. But
well, he got to do that. Now, you wrote a book on the blues, too,
Yes,
right?
I wrote a book on the blues under the... it was commissioned by Rhino Records. It was called Rhino's Cruise Through the Blues. And it's kind of a handbook, an introduction to the blues. It has gone out of print, but we still have copies for sale at the Demento Society.
Talk about that website.
Yes, right. DrDemento.com is my website. I've kind of skipped ahead here, but yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. But a few years ago, the show made the transition. We migrated out to cyberspace. And I still do the show, just like I have for since 1970. Still produce a new show every week with lots of new Demented music and lots of old Demented music, too. And it's on the internet at DrDemento.com. We put it up every Saturday morning, but you can listen whenever you want. Not only to the new show or to last week's show, but to shows from way back 1970, 1980, 1990, any year you want. And they're all available at DrDemento.com. We charge a very small fee because we have to pay royalties on these wonderful songs that we play. But there it is. But there are no commercials. So, we don't have commercial breaks like you guys have to. Yeah. So we have to get the money from somewhere to pay those royalties. So, but anyway, it's just $2 a show at DrDemento.com for a complete 2-hour show. And we do that, a new one every week. So come give it a try sometime. Yeah. It's lots of fun.
I want to add this also. I was there last night, and I got sucked into the website because I'm going back. I want to thank you for being as anal as you are on those playlists, my man. Okay. They go back to the 70s, the very beginning, all the shows, all the playlists. So if you remember some of the songs, these playlists are there, and I'm like, yeah, this is one that I remember. I'm going back. My heavy years with you were like 76 through about 86.
Okay.
And I mean, all of them, of course, Ogden Edsel Wahalia Blues Ensemble Mondo Bizarro Band. Why did they quit with that whole name? Why did they just go to Ogden Edsel?
I guess people got confused, or it wouldn't fit
too bad.
Wouldn't fit on a club marquee or something like that.
That's good stuff. Right, and there's something else. Just to have you here, I do want to say thank you very much, because this one comes from the heart. We can be as crazy as we want. Turning me on to Frank Zappa, you were the one that did it. Turning me on to Shel Silverstein, Tom Lehrer, Alan Sherman, all those guys, and you're probably one of the reasons why I got into radio in the first place. All the cities that I could move to, guess what? There was one DJ that was the same in the city that I just moved from. And that was this guy.
You.
He was in every single
Steve.
city. Yeah, are you kidding me?
Well, this conversation leads in a couple of ways to that first tune that's over here. This is a tune by Tom Lehrer, one of the people that Steve just mentioned. And this was also remixed for stereo just recently. This particular recording of Poisoning Pigeons in the Park with the string orchestra has never been released in stereo, but you're going to hear it in stereo. It was remixed specially by the same man who designs our website, the same man who does that anal list that you were talking about. Right, yeah.
I don't think I said it quite that way.
Yeah, right, yeah. So anyway, let's listen to Poisoning Pigeons in the Park in stereo.
Spring is is here, a suffering is here. Life is skittles and life is beer. I think the loveliest time of the year is the spring. I do, don't you? Of course you do. But there's one thing that makes spring complete for me, and makes every Sunday a treat for me. All the world seems in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me as we poison the pigeons in the park. When they see us coming, the birdies all try and hide, but they still go for peanuts when coated with cyanide. The sun's shining bright, everything seems alright when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. We've gained notoriety and caused much anxiety in the Audubon Society with our games. They call it impiety and lack of propriety and quite a variety of unpleasant names. But it's not against any religion to want to dispose of a pigeon. So if Sunday you're free, why don't you come with me and we'll poison the pigeons in the park? And maybe we'll do in a squirrel or two while we're poisoning pigeons in the park. We'll murder them all amid laughter and merriment, except for the few we take home to experiment. My pulse will be quickening with each drop of strychnine we feed to a pigeon. It just takes a smidgen to poison a pigeon in the park.
Tom Lehrer with strings.